you will receive an email from Maria asking you to set up your account with Thinkwave. If you're sharing email as a family, like this family is, both parents and students will receive separate emails for each of them to log in separately. But the process is exactly the same. So you will receive a link, and there's also an activation code here, but it should fill that in for you. So we'll just click the link, and then you are going to create your username, whatever you choose, and a password. And you notice it did fill in the access code for me. If you'd like, you could double check just to make sure it is the same. And then you will select new account. You might want to write down your username and password, but if at any point you forget, we can reset this for you and you could always set it up again. So here's the dashboard where we get started. You can see in Thinkwave there's multiple places to get to things. Messages here, assignments, assignments. Assignments and grades are the two places that you will find what Berea uses Thinkwave for. We really don't use the messages or attendance section. So under assignments, since I am logged in as Jennifer, I can see in this drop-down box two people, John and Jane. This is my parent view. I have two children, John and Jane, so I can toggle and see them both. Here, Jane is taking basket weaving, cryptozoology, physics of Star Trek, and then I can see that John has different classes. He also includes some study halls. If you didn't sign up for study hall and you see this here, that is because this student, John, has a gap in his schedule where he will remain on campus without a parent. So administration will automatically put him in study hall if you didn't register for that. So let me just switch back to Jane. So you'll see that she has several different types of assignments. This first is the date the assignment was due. This is the name of the assignment. Then it includes the name of the class. This is the type of assignment. This might be different for each class. The teacher determines what the types of assignments are. And then this is the grade that is possible. So this is worth 25 points. This is worth 10 points. This homework is worth 15 points down here. And also you might see some teachers might use just a complete incomplete on some assignments. These icons, this is an additional description if a teacher might have put that in for some additional instructions. A file or link maybe if he or she needed you to do that. And I'm going to come back to submitting work online and comments in a moment. All the way up on the right, you're going to see the grades that Jane got. You'll also see this green bar. This is filled in when the grade is recorded. You'll notice this one below is not filled in and the pop-up says not started. That is not exactly accurate because really this just means that the teacher has not input the grade yet. So if Jane did indeed turn in her quiz, seeing it blank here or not started here just means that the grade has not been input into Thinkwave. It doesn't mean that her quiz was not received or completed. So, and you'll notice there's nothing over here to indicate that she has a missing assignment. It just hasn't been input into Thinkwave yet. She may even have that quiz back in her hand with a grade written on it, or if it's an online quiz, might have received a grade that way. It doesn't mean that we've lost it. It just means that there's not a grade put in Thinkwave yet. So here's a number grade, which you might expect to see, but I want to point out, sorry about that. I want to point out this E right here. E means excused. Excused, a teacher might excuse Jane if she was sick that day or was on vacation, especially for a participation grade. And ThinkWave does not, it just dismisses any grade that says excused. Okay. Another letter you might see, though, is an M. So you see these two are missing. And that means that Jane did not turn that grade in. The teacher does not have it, so she marked it as missing. And ThinkWave will count that as a 0. Doesn't mean that she can't turn that grade in potentially later. And you'll see in this case, the teacher did make a comment that said the project can be turned in later. So be sure to check and see if there's any teacher comments. So I'll back up and go through what I just did a little slower. So if you want some additional information about an assignment, you can click on that assignment itself. You can see when it's due, what type it is, and if there was a description, it would be here. This group discussion, you can type something in here and send it. It will just display for everyone who's in that class. If you want to see exactly what Jane has, then if you click on your work, that's where you will see some private comments from the teacher, and you could message the teacher privately. I do want to point out that overall, Berea uses a different system for communication between students and teachers and parents. So ThinkWave is not usually a place where communication happens, but if you send this, your teacher would be able to see it. Now, this upload file is a way for a student to turn something in online. A teacher may indicate that they would like the work turned in online. If that is to be done through Thinkwave, you'll see it here as well, upload file. But since I am a parent, it's going to tell me I cannot upload the file. That is only for a student to do. So in this view under assignments, you can see all the assignments that a student has for a specific class. Right now, I'm only looking at cryptozoology, but if I click all classes, I will see everything that is due on a certain date. So you can see October 26th, Jane has a test in cryptozoology and 2 things due in basket weaving. That could be especially helpful if she did miss class for vacation. She could go back in and see what was due while she was gone. Also helpful as a parent is the grades tab. And this gives me Jane's overall grade. This is the teacher's name of the class, and then the overall grade that Jane has in basket weaving or cryptozoology or physics of Star Trek. Notice for now, Jane only has grades in semester 1. There are no grades inputted into semester 2. That's the only reason nothing is shown here. So it's very easy to always tell what her overall grade, what your student's overall grade would be. And the view for John, even though he is in middle school, is exactly the same. It includes things like study hall. I wouldn't expect a grade in study hall. All right. So as a student, Jane would also receive an email, and she would click on that and set up her account exactly the same way that mom did. Once you do set up an account, Thinkwave sends you a nice welcome to Thinkwave email that contains your username in case you forgot. So let's take a look. This is Jen's username. I'm going to sign out. I've already set up Jane's account, but I'm going to sign in as her now, as the student. Make sure. Her dashboard looks exactly the same. The difference is that she doesn't have any drop downs. She will only see the classes she is in. She does not see her brother. She can see all the assignments. This looks exactly the same. You notice this is a public comment that was made. Remember, her mom put in a comment, so that's available, and any other student would also be able to see that because it was under the public group discussion. And really, the only difference between this and the parent view is that Jane could upload a file if she wanted to turn in an assignment. And she would just select the file and click upload, and there it would be. And when she clicks on grades, it looks very similar to exactly what her mom got to see. And that is basically everything that we use on a regular basis in Thinkwave. You will also receive some progress reports and report cards throughout the year that has a summary of your students and all of their assignments. And if you have any other further questions, please don't hesitate to ask or send an email, and we will do our best to help you.